What's up, guys? Today, back at the Haggard house. Vlog coming at you, I guess. Beautiful day, finally. It's like 75 degrees out. Considering throwing some shorts on. Today, I was all excited. I knew it was going to be great. I got here just now. It's, I don't know, sometime afternoon. So, no coils, because no one at this house is awake before noon, ever. So, instead of that, I'm going to be replacing my struts on the hatch, I guess, of the Equinox, because they're old, they suck, and they're pretty much blown because I already replaced one, which is the only reason this thing is staying up right now, but it just fall when you're standing under it, and it sucks. So it's very straightforward, so that's why I just thought I'd do it real quick. It's not even that detailed. Like, you really don't have to do much. They pretty much, all it is that holds these struts on is a little ball that's mounted to the hatch and then to the car. And pretty much all you have to do is take some needle nose and pretty much just pull it off, like wedge the needle nose on either side of the strut top, or I guess the cap. What you can do to make it easier, there's this little clip that goes around the top of the strut top, and as you can see, the ends of the clips are in there, and then when you pull that clip out, the ends of it pull back, and it makes it easier to snap off the post, I guess. So that's easy enough to do on the one that's attached to the hatch, because you have all the room you need in the world to get a screwdriver in there. You can actually just pull the whole clip right out of the thing. Like that. And then make sure you're holding on to the hatch for this, because it's going to fall. All you're going to do is wedge your needle nose between the strut top and the hatch, I guess. Pop it right off. And now see, if I let go, it's going to fall. Even though our strut's doing work. You can actually hear it. These ones just go. And then same deal, except I don't have the room in the hatch between like the rain rails and crap and the stupid body paneling. So all I'm going to do is use a little bit of leverage against the post itself and pop it off. And that struts off. Doesn't take much. And then even easier part, installation. You don't have to pull the clips off to pop them back onto the posts, just because the ball is round and that's how it's going to pop back on. So it's very easy. That one's on. Spin this around a little bit so it lines up. Yeah, on the other side of the post. There we go. Hatch is done. Oh, look at that. It opens for you now. Wow. Before, if you even disturb the car's balance, it'd come crashing down. It's good if you forgot to close the hatch, because it would close by itself eventually. Moving on. Next, this is what is supposed to go on top of the hatch, like some kind of spoiler type deal. It's supposed to sit on top here, but I had to take it off because I guess in the winter a lot of water built up in here and then froze to ice, and then when I tried to lift the hatch up, the part here that's supposed to like fold into that valley hit the ice and just cracked, and I couldn't open the hatch. And then after that, it just like wouldn't open all the way. It got like misaligned or something, or the hinges bent on the thing. Whatever it is, I don't know. The door doesn't really line up properly anymore. I had to put some foam insulation between the door and the body right here, to because you could feel the wind, like when you're on the highway, air would leak in at high speed. It was cold, so fix that. It doesn't leak now though, because the rain rail still works. But my only concern about that is I already get pulled over for no good reason in this car because the window tints pretty goddamn dark. But, so that's one reason I have to get pulled over. But my other reason that I don't need to have is the third brake light is in this thing. And every car I've ever seen on the road has 3 brake lights. A third brake light. Even the Miata, every Miata, even that thing, every car. So, to avoid a ticket, I'm gonna try take that thing out of the spoiler wing and somehow mount it back up to where it plugs in. Maybe even the rear window washer too, but I'll see what I can do. Alright, so there's my Haggard brake light fix. Zip tied on there pretty good. Got the sprayer back up. It works. Hit the brakes. And sprayer works too. Sprayer? Yeah. You gotta hold it. Hey! Mint. That's all for today. Been up since 7 a.m. waiting for the FedEx guy, and he just came now at 10:12 about. But I'm pumped because this is something I ordered from eBay, but it's not an eBay brand. So I'm pumped, and I'm gonna try and open this with one hand. And it already sucks. Wow, they're all like individually boxed. I think. Are they all one box? I'm confused. Oh god. Holy crap, it comes with instructions. Wow. Dude. I'm shitting. Look at this. Cam, look at this. Jesus Christ. That's like the most legit part we've ever bought. Comes with the hardware and everything. Holy shit.
Just small coil.
Yeah, it's a Miata coil. It's fucking legit though.
Those fucking hooks for that. Can't even do it by hand.
Yeah. They're all together too already. Man, I'm pumped to put these in my car now. Dampening. It's mint, dude. I'm pumped. Nice. Alright, it's Friday. Finally a nice day. Not raining. Because I'm not allowed to use the garage anymore. Or jack stands. But I'm finally going to throw my Megans in. And I know you guys have seen enough of Coilover Garage, so I'm going to be nice and quick about it. And not detail every single fucking strut. And I'm just going to do it pretty quickly. I'm not really even going to film most of it. But you get the idea. Strut goes out, strut comes out, new strut goes in, or new coilover goes in. And then you make it look cool and slammed. I'll put my Yankees back on since I'm pretty sure it's not going to snow anymore this year. So, I can get rid of these snow tire wheels, and they'll disappear probably. So I'll put my Yankees back on, get to a nice cool ride height, and then probably never be able to not scrape going down the driveway again. Yeah. Alright, I got the first strut pretty much out. Let's see how much fun it's going to be to wrestle with. Probably going to have to move some more stuff around, but it's pretty much out. Alright, we got the new nice and shiny one in. Has absolutely no play at all. Even better than this stupid thing that I pulled out. So, one down, 3 more to go. Now I'm going to pull the other side. The tip that makes this easier, so you have more room, so you can move the whole hub up and down, is take the sway bar link off on both sides, so you can sway it around and get out of your way, so you can drop this down far enough to get the struts out. Because they're a pain in the balls, kind of. Not gonna lie. I realized that I don't think once on Haggard Garage we've ever done like a tutorial actually how to take your struts out and put coilovers in. And so I thought I'd do that real quick. It's really basic. So on your Miata, I'm only gonna tell you how to do it on Miatas, but it's pretty much the same on every car. Your strut's only held in by 3 bolts. This one on the bottom that's attached to the lower control arm. It's a 17mm with a nut and a lock washer on the other side. And then on the top, at the strut top, you got 2 14mm bolts on either side of the top of the strut. And that's all that holds it in. So once you break your bottom one loose, like I did already, which is a pain sometimes because these cars are like 20 years old. Break that one out. And what I do, a fun tip to get these out, since see I'm just like working it backwards, turning it to the left, and it's pulling out by itself. What you can do if you're lazy and don't have time to put impact on it, and don't push in, just put it in reverse and let it spin itself out, and it'll back out pretty quick. So when you get bored, you can take an impact and just impact it right off. If your impact gun's not dead. Come on, you can do it. I knew you could do it. Pro tip, when you're working outside with lots of bolts and nuts and washers, as soon as you take something off the car, put them all back on the same bolt that they came off of. And if possible, even leave them in the hole where they go, just loose, so you don't forget or lose them. And on top, you got 2 14s. Get all the bolts taken out. The strut's still going to be in there, just kind of wedged. So your best bet after you take your tie rod link off, sway bar link, to always get the fuse, just kind of push down on your motor or lower control arm until you pop this out, and then you have to fight with it for a while to get the pop out of the bottom. And then you kind of just got to fight with it with 2 hands for a while. So I've done real quick, which I did on the other side, didn't show. I took the strut top hat off. How I did that while the strut was still in the car, I took some vice grips, put it around the strut itself, and then there's just a 14mm nut in here you take off. And then it's easier to get this out because now there's leaps and bounds of play in here, even though the spring's still in there. But if you can fight it hard enough and push this down far enough to get the strut top out of the hat, it makes it so much easier to take out. Then you just have to drop it straight down. Just a lot of patience. My play bar's in the way. Alright, I got one out. There we go. And new strut. If you're fancy enough to buy nice enough coils that have actual top hats on them, because it's usually what you get. That's what I showed you before. You get the stock top hat for the car, and then the strut itself has its own spring and stuff like that. But you have to use the stock top hat. These don't, obviously. They have their own top hats, and they come with their own hardware. So it's very simple. Take these off. I'm gonna fight a little bit more. I always do the top on these first and then worry about getting the bottom lined up, because most of the times you're going to have to lift this up to the bolt hole and get this lined up better. So it's easier to go to the top first. So, in there. You can. Things have done so far. There we go. Fight a little more. So once that top's in and all bolted in, then you just gotta worry about lining your bottom. Just kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Then once you get your top all situated, you take your bottom, just line it up in the grooves. And then you're just gonna lift it up till you're lined up. There you go. This arm's all in. The only problem I have now is the bolt for the sway bar link stripped out, so that's as far as they'll thread on. But I'm going to keep going with the rears, and then I'll have to go to Lowe's and get a bunch of bolts and just replace all those another day, so I'll do that. So on with the fronts, I'm going to throw my Yankees back on, get a feel how they look, how high they sit, how low, see what adjustments I need to make. So the front will be all done at least for one day. Here she is with the Yankees back on and the Megans in the front. Pretty much exactly where I was before. I'm going to leave them where they are for now until I do the backs. And then I'll probably drive around because the springs will probably compress a little bit. But room to go. That's just how they came, so not bad. Let's turn this thing around and do the back now. I'll have to go to Lowe's anyway to get new bolts, so I'll figure it out. But yeah, half of them's in. All fancy and dampening and such. Now in the back, we're gonna do the same deal. Disconnect the sway bar on both sides. We might not have to yet, it might be easier, but probably gonna have to just to get enough play to work with. Still only 117 now, because you can't get to, I don't think there's a nut. Yeah, it just threads into the control arm itself. I don't want to say I took this side apart. That's it, and then the same 214s on the top, which in your trunk, just move your spare tire out of the way. That's screwed into the floor, and there it is. Just with your regular 2 more 14s, and I'll see if I take the strut top apart yet to get it out. So how this works, once you get your sway bar disconnected, you gotta just kind of be good at this. And I'm probably not good enough at this. And you do that. You hop on your, stand on the hub, hop on it, and pull it out. And there you go. Backs come a lot easier. A lot easier. And you'll get the Megan.
It's a small, finite area. When you think about it, it'll take a little bit of time, but like it's not a lot of stuff to clean. So that just means all of that perfect cleaning and
That's in there nice and hand tight. Since this is significantly lower than it was, you're gonna have to pick the hub up to the strut and force the bolt in. And the sway bar is gonna fight you, so before I do that, I'm gonna disconnect the sway bar on the other side so it doesn't fight me and I can get it back on. Alright, now I got the sway bar disconnected and it flops around all nice out of the way. Pretty much of everything. Put the strut back up. This back up. For those of you that don't have leg muscles of steel, you can alternately use a jack underneath to pick this up. Just like that. Now we'll go to the other side real quick. So you're gonna have to do the same thing on your trunk in the interior. You have to get this side open now. These are all 10 millimeters. A bunch of 10 millimeter bolts that hold this shroud in around the gas filler. You're gonna have to take those off.
how long is this loop? 10 hours?
And behind your filler nut, behind here, fun, is the strut top hat, where you need to take those two 14 millimeter bolts out of. Oh, there we go. Two 14s are out. Now I get to pull the strut out. Deal on the other side. Once you get your sway bar link off, you just gotta break this 117. Holds the fucker on there. It's usually pretty difficult to get. That. And then you get to play this fun game of trying to get the bolt to come out while it's spinning. And there's a way to do that. Or just pull it out by hand. Like that. If you can tell, this strut's different because when we changed my wheels and we're cutting my springs, the other blue strut that was supposed to be in here, the Tokiko or whatever, stripped out on the top, so we couldn't use the top hat again. Or we couldn't use the top of that strut at all because it was stripped out on the actual strut part of it. So Dan gave me this random strut out of who knows what. It's probably a stock Miata strut or something out of a Civic, but it's way longer. The actual strut is like protruding past the top hat a lot. It's too far for me to pull it out, so I'm gonna have to take off the upper control arm from the hub so I can get a little bit more play to pull it out. Hopefully this thing wasn't a bitch at all. She is. Can't get any easier than that. Fucking dump it. You know what I mean? It's a little bit taller than your average strut top hat. Time for Megan. The fun product of not being able to see what you're working on. Put both nuts on one of the studs. Ugh. Couldn't figure out why I wasn't threading on. So as usual, it got darker. I'm trying to finish up out here. Put the upper control arm back together. Basically just have to bolt that back together and the sway bar end and then sway bar on the other end side. And then I'll be all set on the back. And it's kind of too dark out, so I'm not really filming any of it. And the other convenient way to do this is use a jack to just pick up the hub assembly for you and try and get your sway bar to line up. Like that. Just go. Go there. Do it. Get nice and tight.
Brendan, is there a can of like unstick it spray or some shit? Unstick. Do you have like goof off or something? I don't know. Do we have any goof off? Do we have any fucking goof off? Do I have it? No, it's for graffiti. You can't. You can't have it. Ever.
Alright, moment of truth. We're ready to drop it and go, oh! So, here we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. I gotta check out the other side. Nice. Let's set a little bit. That's gonna be great. Dude, I like it. I just gotta fix the fronts. They're a little monster truck. I gotta put the sway bar back together for the front too, so. Because the bolt's stripped out, so I'm gonna flip around. But I fucking like it. So it's a lot later, but they're on. I had to help everyone else try and fix their cars. They're on. Tucking some wheel in the back. Happy about it. Fucking decent amount of camber. Looks nice. The front, I'm gonna not fuck with yet. Just a little bit of wheel gap in there. There's fucking none here. Love it. Tucking wheel. But I'm probably gonna have to fuck with my alignment some more, so I didn't slam the front yet. I'm not gonna slam the front. I'm pretty much, this was how they were when I put them on from the box. And it looks pretty good. If they rub or something, I'll raise them. But until then, I gotta let everything settle, figure out how it looks, see how I like it. But I love the back already. So it looked better if the fender was rolled properly. Doing this via light of the fucking 7.3 van. They're about to go pick up another 240 in Jersey. So that'll be that. So that concludes this fucking 3 or 5, how many ever days it's been, vlog that I've been trying to get shit done, and it rains or whatever, or shit stops me from doing something. But so that concludes this vlog.